I'm sorry. I had to get this out of me. I had to get this off my chest. I'm hoping that somehow talking to you guys about this will make me feel better. My new glasses, they're dirty. Merch! Did my glasses fall back? I don't know how the platforms are going to take this video because of how different it is from my original content and the topic at hand, but I needed to do something way off brand and just be as transparent as possible. I feel like I've been holding way too much in lately. This was cut together quickly. I felt it would be tone deaf if I went like all colorful and weird like I usually do anyways. A dancing cat cartoon might pop up if things start to get like really serious though. This is a lot of ranting. I need to get it out of my system. So anyone who comments, who complains about the complaining, thanks for the engagement, but you were warned. These are just my thoughts and opinions while in a very frustrated and vulnerable state, so please be understanding of that. I love you. I think it's time that I do a bit more content that's raw like this. I never planned to. I never really wanted to because of how self-conscious I've become about being on camera, which is so weird because I was an actress my whole life. I was very comfortable on stage and in front of the camera, and now I'm assuming it's a mixture of my PTSD and just not being comfortable with how I look as I'm aging. I really wasn't taking care of myself for a while there with my addiction and my stress, and I came out the other side alive, but I can see the damage I've done, and it's hard sometimes. I'm doing this because I need somewhere to vent. I'd probably just blog my fingers off if I didn't have rheumatoid arthritis, so I'm hoping that this format is okay. I'm posting this behind paywall because I don't want it to flood or overshadow my cat content. My channel is for joy and happiness, and these videos are more personal and real and not always uplifting. So I do want to say first and foremost, this channel is to help you find joy. My Manic Pixie Cat Lady channel. And if you are not in the best place mentally, some of these rants may not be for you right now. I'll always do content warning or advisory at the beginning if it's necessary. And today I will be referencing addiction, other mental health issues, along with just a lot of frustrating topics. So if you don't think that this is for you, that is okay. I'll see you another time. Take care of yourself first. Things are just getting too frustrating behind the scenes, more so than I have even been showing, which probably sounds silly considering how much I've been whining and complaining. But for someone who is neurodivergent, I find it extremely difficult to make sense of things that aren't justifiable or fair. And this game that Meta plays is such scummy behavior. But what a terrible way to run a company. I've never understood treating employees like crap, because statistically the company does better when employees and everyone is happy. So it honestly is just a power move to keep people in their place. That's it. YouTube and Patreon are lovely in comparison to Meta. In a perfect situation, I would have the follower count that I have on Meta on my YouTube platform. Then I could just leave all my Meta accounts to be passive until they fix all of the problems with their platform and consider telling me or showing me that they value my content. I have been on Facebook. I've had a Facebook account since 2007, 6 or 7, and things used to work back then. I remember websites, they would have bugs, but it was little and they would get fixed. We had real support, like actual phone numbers and emails and people you could talk to, and not just AI chat bots that never understand what you're trying to ask them and are the opposite of helpful. The thing I miss the most is that creators online were given more freedom to just make their art, and they were paid properly for ad revenue. Oh man. So I've been surfing my way through the guidelines on Facebook just because it's such a mess back there. It's so incredibly unorganized, lacking in specifics constantly. It's an absolute mess. For example, when you go to look for rules, it will always say you must follow the partner monetization policy, for example. So they'll give you an option to click on that. So you click on the partner monetization policy, and then it gives you a list of things that you need to follow, but it'll say things like you must reside in an eligible country. If you don't, But what are they? It's stuff like that. You must follow this. What is it though? You must reside in an eligible country. What are the eligible countries? You need to follow these too, so don't forget. Then what are they? Because when I click on them, it's also not specific. I think they're doing that on purpose because they're blaming you for not reading the guidelines, but the guidelines are an absolute mess. It's so dumb. I found something so rage inducing yesterday. I found their huge long pitch on cross posting and how it's great to grow engagement on more than one platform. It helps with monetizing opportunities. I was reading the language very carefully and realizing that they were very careful about not using language that would greatly imply that you were making money off of it. Because when they say monetization opportunities, they're not talking about the ad revenue on that content. They never are. They're talking about extra stuff that you can do to make money, which I find so fucking ridiculous. Thanks. I spend all of my time on this content, but you're giving me the opportunity to make more content to make money? Make that make sense. I don't have time to make more content, and I also feel that my followers, my subscribers are, you guys watch ads. Ads are payment. Watching an ad is a payment. That's why you have to do it in free apps. That's how you're paying for that app without using money. Watching ads on YouTube or on Facebook without the upgraded version to not have ads, the ads are your payment. And so I refuse to put my cat videos behind a paywall when it is meant to be free entertainment for those willing to watch ads. Because those ads are what create the revenue, as opposed to the customer directly paying. The customer's watching the ad, which makes the money. So it's just back to cross posting. The only place that will tell you that you directly cannot make money off of cross posted content is Google AI. The meta policies are vague at best and extremely misleading for the most part. I don't even want to say at worst because they're worse than that. I also, oh, this broke me. Did I find this out yesterday too? Yesterday was rough. I read, this is not the first time I've seen something like this. I've even had a support person tell me this, but they don't like watermarks. You know my little watermark that I have in the bottom corner that just says Manic Pixie Cat Lady voiceovers? That's my signature. That is a signature on a painting. It is my signature on my art. They keep implying that it's distracting or it makes it low quality or all this stuff, but they are also not being clear as to whether or not they are talking about other people's watermarks. They make it seem like that's what they're talking about removing other people's watermarks. And I'm like, well, what about the fact that this is my own watermark? And they really suggest that you remove them. No, that is so insulting to ask an artist to take their signature off of their work, especially if you are not paying for their work either. I cannot stop people from reposting my work or not crediting me. That's the internet. My watermark helps people know who did that work if they just find it in a circulation that doesn't necessarily link back to my channel. I was so adamant on that being something that I was going to do because I wanted people to know where it was coming from. Unless it's a Susie or Calvin and me video. All the other ones, all of my submission videos, I want my signature on there. I want people to know where the voices are coming from. I work really hard on these. This isn't something I'm just slapping together to make a quick buck. I spend hours on these, even the 10-second long video ones, because I love it. I'm an artist that loves to do artwork. Creating the videos is so much fun for me. I went to film school. I went to theater school. Comedy, performing, editing, making a piece of something that I know can help someone's mood is just, I love it so much. And I'm not willing to just put that out into the world for free without a signature. So if that is also something that's a problem, in the future you may see me taking a shot at making it a little bit smaller, but that's as far as I'm willing to go. There's a spot that mentions that Facebook owns a piece of your property once you post it too. And I'm thinking that's why they don't want my signature on it. But I'm like, fucking pay me for it, Facebook. You don't get to keep my shit. Make ad revenue off of it. Make me take my signature off of it. Am I crazy? Am I absolutely nuts for thinking that I'm being treated unfairly? I think like my 16th conversation with support the other day, and I really wish I hadn't made that request because that phone call really ruined my day. He was so condescending and he goes, "Well, do you want to know what got me monetized?" I was like, "Okay." And he says, "I boosted my content." I was so confused because I was like, "Are you implying that I need to spend more money to get monetized? Because I already spent $60 a month for a verified badge." And he kind of started backtracking. He's like, "No, no, it's just I'm telling you it's what worked for me, you know, blah, blah, blah." So that was just my experience. And I'm like, "You're not fucking helping because for 6 months at least, I've had this verified badge I've had since January. So 7 months, I've had issues with support not telling me exactly what to do. I've been trying absolutely everything. I'm not going to test out boosting. That's spending money on things that I don't need to spend money on. And I'll tell you why. The amount of views you get from boosting is way less than what I get naturally. Why would I spend $20 for a couple thousand views when I don't need to? I'll say this again. I'm not someone who just wants to be a creator with no content ideas at all. I know what I'm doing when it comes to that. I just don't know how to follow the shitty rules that they're making up on the spot. It takes a lot of gall for a company so big that buys out all other companies that are competition to just suck so bad. Do they take pride in that? That's disgusting. They don't care about the little man so much that they don't hide it anymore. They don't hide that they treat us like crap anymore because they don't care and they've bought out every other option. So this has been a much different journey than I was expecting. I was expecting a lot of hard work, which I was willing to do. I was expecting to have a long time to wait. I was expecting to do that and willing to do that. I was not expecting to hit a roadblock that lasted this long, that made no sense to me, to the point where I'm terrified I'm gonna grow resentful of this whole project. I really am. Film design work on the computer, storytelling, comedy, that is what I can do. That is the pinnacle of what I am good at in life. I've spent my whole life training to be an entertainer, an artist. My brain is not wired for structured society built for the majority. It's just not. When I began this project, it was so fun. I knew it was the kind of silly thing that I was meant to do. And I finally felt like there was a chance I could actually make a living at doing the one thing I can do. I'm just not as excited about it as I was a year ago. I hate saying that aloud. A year ago, I had so much ambition and drive and hope. And I finally had like a clear vision for what I wanted for my future. And I was ready to work my butt off for it. I really was because I knew it was something I could do. It's something I wanted enough and I knew I was good at enough that I could do it. But like after this whole year of waiting and wondering and watching channels smaller than mine do great financially, similar to mine, but smaller than mine, are monetized for ads. I feel like I've been waiting so long to just like get picked by the popular group. When I finally realized that no matter how much I do right, no matter how well I do, I did not factor in that there's no insurance that the people in power will be fair. Like I knew what I was getting myself into trying to work for Facebook. I assumed there would be many discrepancies in pay, sudden changes, and all that irritating stuff to expect from a shardy company, but I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting the website to be falling apart, for support to be lacking and useless even when you're paying for it, and for them to just outright not pay you a percentage of the money they're making off of you for like a year. And this takes me back to the cross-posting not counting. I'm sorry, are there not ads on any of those reels that I've cross-posted? It's the same, and they know what they're doing, and we're just supposed to be fine with it. I don't know, you guys. I'm not okay. I haven't gone a day without crying in a while, and it's become harder and harder for me to picture the future I once had in mind. When things don't line up for this long, it's actually causing me a lot of pain in my chest, just trying to understand it. My body and my mind make everyday things a challenge. But entertainment, like this kind of stuff, being silly and making people laugh, I can do that. My mind actually allows me the drive to do that for some reason other than everything else. I wish it was the way it used to be, where artists got to do their own thing online in their own artistic way and not structured like they're at some corporate 9 to 5 and they have to follow those rules or they fail. We don't work that way. We should be allowed to take breaks when we want and when we need to and not get penalized for that. We should be allowed to have a video go crazy viral and not get bad insights the following week because we're not doing as well as we did a week ago when that awesome day happened. You cannot base your daily success off of your best days. That is so incredibly unhealthy and is just setting you up for failure and constant stress. Makes it no fun. I'm so sick of people thinking that there is only one way to do this successfully. The only time I grew on any of my platforms was when I stopped following their rules and what they were making me do and telling me that I should be doing. I don't need to be told how to create art because guess what? I don't actually have to work that hard when I have content that people are actually interested in or that is interesting. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm awesome and all this stuff, but there are too many creators out there that just want to be creators and don't have a single clue what they want to create. And so it's just filler. The industry is oversaturated with clickbait salesmen making you watch a 14-minute video to the end only to find the exciting thing they told you to wait till the end for wasn't even all that worth it. It's everywhere. Anytime I click on a video and it just starts out with, watch to the end, subscribe, all this crap. And I'm like, why would I subscribe? What is your video about? Give me a reason. It just all seems so fake and so gross. And all of the good art and genuine people, they're drowning. Most of you know this. I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't want to do this for money. But I am putting in as much work as a full-time worker. And the platforms are talking to me like they're my boss. So yes, I would like compensation for the work that you are benefiting from, Facebook, so that I can continue to do this. I want to make a living making art. That's all. And that's not selfish or outlandish. Not an outlandish thing to want or expect from life when you work hard to get it. Suits shouldn't get to play games with people who are just trying to pay their rent. I will never accept it. It's just the way it is. That kind of language is why things don't change. And why we tolerate the intolerable to the extent of them taking over power. I'm sorry about this depressing post. I had to get this out of me. I had to get this off my chest. And I'm hoping that somehow talking to you guys about this will make me feel better. If you have questions, it'd be fun to respond this way. I don't want to worry any of you. I know that's a silly thing to say after everything I've just said. I'm just really trying to figure all of this out, and it's eating me alive to the point of I need to get this out. So I hope you're all right with this content. Again, I'm not going to be flooding my feed. It's going to be behind a paywall on Patreon and my subscribers on Instagram and Facebook. I don't know. Here's hoping something good comes out of this. Here's hoping we can get to know each other a little better this way. and maybe I won't feel so secluded. I'm very reclusive as is. So I think I love chatting with you guys, but my fingers can only do so much typing, which sucks. This will be like a secondary version of my blog on Patreon. I love you guys so much. My lovely lovelies. I don't know what I would do without you. Oh, my new glasses. But they're dirty. Aren't they cute? They're kids' glasses. And this is the first time I've looked at myself in the mirror in a pair of glasses and I was like, oh, these look like they fit. These feel like they fit. I spent 37 years, well, I haven't been wearing glasses since I was 0, but I've been wearing glasses since I was a teenager, and never once has anyone told me that my glasses were too big for my face. But here we are. Also, merch. Did my glasses fall back? We're good. That's okay. It's all good. But isn't it cute? It just came in and it's really soft. It's the new hoodies that I think are even cheaper than the other ones. They're both so soft. They're both such good hoodies. I picked good ones. I made sure to test out a lot of the merch. I'm gonna sign off. I'm so sorry this was so heavy. I love you all so much. I know you mostly know this, but I feel the need to constantly remind you that I am doing better than I would be doing if it weren't for you guys. And all the love and support. I need it. I really needed it. There were some really hard days, and I would get some messages from you guys, and I'd be like, oh, all right, that's why I do this. I'm most likely going to be taking just a little bit of break through to the end of July, just because my mom's coming in a couple days for a few days, and I just still need to figure all this stuff out. You'll find my posts will still be reposted on Facebook. I'll do what I can on every other platform. I hope you stick around. Keep my channel awake and alive by just commenting and sharing and likes and stuff. I love you so much. We got this. And when the time comes, it's gonna feel awesome. And here's a little Calvin palette cleanser just to get rid of all of the ick from that video. I said at the beginning that I was going to reference addiction, and then I never really did. I was just planning on letting you all know that you don't need to worry about where my head is at in that department. Things are rough, but I'm eating a lot of cookies about it, and I may have one too many stuffed animals and packs of stickers from Temu. Alcohol is not and will never be an option again.